Oh, hello. T minus 27 minutes away from FP3, round three. Round three? Round four. The Bahrain Grand Prix Circuit International. What are we saying, Russell? Moral, Toby CC. Toby CC. How dare you use that suffix? Do you know what I mean? Max, Moral, Russell B, Daniel. It's going to get techie. Everyone's top five for Q5. For Q3 even. We'll get a cheeky poll going. I promise. But as we bed in, I just finished watching... There's going to be some changes around here the next couple of weeks, chat. But we'll talk about it over the next couple of sessions. But I was brilliant video from Sam Collins talking about the evolution of the SF25, all of their worries and travails, multitudinous of them, the fact that Lewis wants the car lower at the back, rear instability, a la an MCL39. It's going to get techie. They need to sort it out, but they've brought upgrades, haven't they? What's going on, Genius? I hope you're good. Umanch up in there, Kayla. Yeah, they brought upgrades, but it just looks like it looks and sounds like chaos. I'm not going to lie to you. It really does. It just looks like a mess over here. But what else would you expect from Scuderia Ferrari, except to Scuderia Ferrari? It's standard T minus 36, 26 minutes even till we get ourselves a cheeky FP3. Why are they talking? Oh, so they're talking about rookies. Fair play. Of course you would. Why not? I'd advise you go and watch that Sam Collins video if you're invested in the EVA. They're bringing a new floor, but they've also got the floor edge and the duct and the intakes are different. It's like, fuck. I tell you what really peeves me off, and I'm going to keep talking about it because we forgive, but we do not forget as far as Scuderia Ferrari is concerned. This time last year, or let's say 14 months ago, everybody was saying sort the front suspension to pull rod. Adrian Newey is the cleverest dude in the class, and he showed you what the meta is. Copy his homework then. It's not complicated, right? Basics, arithmetic settings, not Fermat's last theorem. Sort it out then so that you've got 24 months worth of runway to base the rest of your design philosophy around that Apex Predator suspension setup. And of course, as far as the front suspension setup's concerned, it's all about aero, isn't it? Pull rod just gives you more aerodynamic landscape to do sexy things with the outwash on the front tyres, etc., etc. Then Frederick Vasseur, Team Ferrari, said, you know what, we're going to plough our own furrow. We've seen things in the CFD and the wind tunnel that means we don't think that we need to converge upon the meta. We don't think we need to listen to the God tier one that is Adrian Newey et al. We're going to continue to bark up our own incorrect design philosophy. Where have you heard that before, chat? If not Toto, the boy who cried wolf, and the bloody zero pod fiasco. That's where you've heard that before. Absolute nonsense. And then we find ourselves 12 months later. Now they've instituted for the meta the pull rod front suspension, but they've only got 12 months to get used to it. And now all this rear instability and all this nonsense is them desperately trying to get their arms around this new design philosophy with 12 months left, when you could argue that their time, if you're talking about opportunity cost, will be better spent barking up the 2026 design philosophy tree now, since we've only got 12 months left. Does that make sense? Project management, Six Sigma, get it right first time, Ferrari. But again, I'm talking a language here that they don't understand, right? This is Spanglish to them. They don't get it, do they, E-March? This is far too advanced for Scuderia Ferrari. And more be me, the fool, to be trying to do something, expound upon topics that they have no scope to ingest. It's nonsense for them. They don't get it, nor will they ever. I don't think Mikhail from Amsterdam, genius, turtle of bro, it was late, black and white night, right? Oh, hang on, switching from push to pull. B-Carb did it, took a what, 100% max, that's the point. And they're going to do this in the final year. Yeah, cool. Good on you, Scuderia Ferrari. Good on you. No wonder you've got all this instability at the rear, etc., etc. Of course, makes perfect sense. Have at it, Ferrari. And that's why Mr. Sir Lewis Hamilton is putting a brave face on things, isn't he? Yeah, I've still got faith. I mean, way to issue vote of confidence. You know, when a football manager's about to get sacked, or an NFL manager, and the board come out and say, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We've got confidence ad infinitum in extremis in our current charge, in the current guy that holds the red pen. That's what they say when they're about to sack somebody, isn't it? Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton, is already playing defense on PR, saying things like this. Yeah, listen, of course I've got faith in my team. I mean, how bad is it so soon for Lewis to be saying them things? Jeez. Unbelievable. Look at all this. What's going on here, Cameron? Sort your life out, Cam. Max Verstappen. Did you see this? Coming for a lot of criticism for why Lando. Apparently, there is a Lando Norris crew who like Lando a lot. That doesn't mean to say that we're ever going to sacrifice truth value and objectivity at the altar of partisanship. Definitely not the one that they call Lando Norris partisanship. Do you know what I mean? I always say every diatribe on Lando will always start something like this. He's a god tier peddler. I stand by that. I think he's brilliant in terms of absolute terms pace. Racecraft when he's ready. Putting together a cheeky qualifying lap. Reminiscent of Sebastian Vettel, no. He's rapid. But there are things that he lacks and continues to lack, and we're going to talk about them because they'll keep rearing their ugly head as far as negative outcomes. Defensive posture, we've talked about the inability to consistently even consolidate for a P1. Doesn't have it. Ability to manage a multitude of circumstances in the car in real time. Double waved yellow plus flashing yellow lights. Please see Qatar Grand Prix last year. Austria. Wheelsmanship or racecraft again? Massive question mark. I just think he's there are questions. We're gonna have to keep asking them. And even I did what? Turn heel, chap. Turn heel. You know what I mean? You don't need to pander for the love and care of the F1 masses or the press and me. Like, you don't even win. But again, I say all that forgetting that Lando's only how old is he? 24? 20 something. He's young. He's younger than George and Max, who are both 27. Yuki finding it hard. Oh, yeah, they're already amending, so they're already bending the design philosophy and setup knee for the one that they call Yuki Tsunoda. It's gonna have to be done. I mean, it's hard. It is hard. Yuki Tsunoda Insta merch now. The merch is there, Luke. I promise you, it's not even Insta merch. Go on, I'm gonna get a link. If you like some Insta merch, since we're T-minus 20 minutes away from a cheeky FP3 round 4 Bahrain Grand Prix Secure International Circuit, your boy Cameron has got some merch out, Tsunoda Sam merch, and it's going down. It's people are liking it thus far. People are liking it. So let me put a cheeky. I'm gonna. You got to promote your own stuff sometimes, right? You got to, because who else will? You know what I mean? Go on then. In the chat, cheeky Tsunoda-san merch as they're talking about Yuki will not stay. Well, Mikhail, they said Helmut Marko has said that he will stay to the end of the season. A man's word is his word, right? My word is my word. My name is my name. Eric says Lando's not that guy. Youth is wasted on the young. Very well said, Max. I think Luke, cheeky link in the chat. We're going to keep, listen, this Lando Norris story is going to keep giving. I think the reason why it's Lando Norris, I know it's not bad, is it? But I can tell you that the etymology of the Lando Norris moniker. If you're on YouTube, there is a very viral horizontal, and it's called I think it's called Chicken Shop Date. And Lando, for all of his bluster and his dashing good looks, went on this chicken shop date and appeared to have no riz. The whole thing is that it's a date with someone who's very awkward, and like they deliberately so. And Lando was on there stalled. Like, most of the dudes go on there and have a bit of riz, but it's still awkward. Lando went on there and was like ... It was difficult to watch, especially since you expected Lando to have a little bit of riz. Do you know what I mean? And then you see that transfer to his on-track performance or lack thereof. Defensive posture, lack thereof, failing to consolidate for P1, lack of understanding and or awareness as far as the multitude of different circumstances and challenges that are presented to these F1 drivers every single race weekend. Sochi 21, there is rain, they tell you to pit. No! But what are we doing? Understand when you don't have perfect information, Lando and Dada. Yeah, he's young, right? He's like 10 years old when Sochi was in Sochi 2021, but I'm not sure that he's a massive... Lando 2.0 is yet to... I don't think we've seen him in his final form yet. But he's young. Oh, the humanity indeed. Safak, I hope you're good. T-minus 17 minutes away from an FP3. We're riffing. Lando could use some of Max's confidence because Max ain't lacking none of that. But Boogie Boy, let me tell you about this now. Oh, stop Max glazing. But this is truth that we're going to talk to here because this is really important. In Mark Hughes' book, he talks, he summarises the Max Verstappen aspect better than I've ever seen anybody else. Max Verstappen is an F1 machine, a racing machine, a boy born to do it. Have you guys heard of Marinovic? There's a chap who had a son and wanted him to be a quarterback. So from the day that this boy was born, he had him on the god tier quarterback conveyor belt, training, nutrition, stretching, everything. And sadly, this boy just didn't have, ultimately, he was given all the opportunity, all of the nurture, but he just didn't have the nature. Max Verstappen is the antithesis, right? He has all of the opportunity, but he has the nurture. He has nurture plus nature. And in the book, Mark Hughes says that the way that Max has his demeanour, almost not an overconfidence or an entitlement, but it's belonging, isn't it? When you see Max Verstappen in the paddock, he looks uncomfortable anywhere else by comparison. I'll post a link, Safa. You'll just be astounded who Lando Norris presents himself to be. It just I don't know. I just didn't think dashing good looks. I thought he'd go in there and have a cheeky word. You know what I mean? T-minus 15 minutes till we get ourselves an FP3, and he had nothing. He couldn't even hold a conversation. You know those guys that just live off their good looks and don't have any chat. That's who Lando Norris is. That's who I think he is. And there is a drip feed. Look at this. Maybe he was doing it deliberately. I don't know. Safak, link in the description. Excuse me. Sorry. I apologise. Right. I need to get my water going before I start snivelling and snuffling. FP3. T-minus 14 minutes and we're here for it. There will be learnings. I think what we need to understand, we as an F1 community need to double click on the data to see the extent of the MCL 39's advantage over the other 18 because they looked bloody quick in FP2. Foreboding portends to dominance and monopoly. No, monopsony even. It's going to get techie. FP3, let's go, Michael. Let's go, Andre. Lando's good and he's quick, but against Max, he has very little. And maybe to that point, Andre, maybe I'm doing a disservice even to comparing him against Max. Mark Hughes says in the book that the difference between Max and Lewis is that Max knows that he was predestined to be in the paddock. He was always going to be an F1 driver. It was never in doubt almost. His dad was an F1 driver. His mother would have been too, so good was she, but for misogyny in the F1 paddock when she was driving God tier. She raced some God tier pedalers, didn't she? Back in her day. When Jensen Button, I think she raced. Like, serious was Sophie. So I don't know. Yeah, you can just watch it, Junior. Although I'd argue just maybe bookmark it for now. I don't want you dialing off unnecessarily. But yeah, bookmark it. Watch later, maybe. Yeah, maybe it is unfair to compare him to Lando. Predestined is what Max is. He belongs there. And compare and contrast his demeanour and countenance, his aspect physically versus, say, Sir Lewis. Lewis is when you hear Lewis in the press conference doing his PR hokey cokey, it's almost because Lewis is too acutely aware of how fleeting F1 careers are, that one wrong step either side and his career could be gone. So that's the way that Lewis still acts, because he knows how hard he had to fight, and his dad and his family and McLaren had to fight just to be in F1. He was not predestined. Indeed, you could argue Lewis's path was the antithesis of Max's, in that he had every obstacle in front of him, tropiezo, stumbling blocks, with a view to try and prevent him being an F1 driver. Culturally, demographic, what you know where I'm going with that. That's the difference between Max Verstappen and a ref. And I'd argue that that's a get. I think there's lap time in that chat, I'll be honest with you. Do you think round 9 will get Max into within a 10th? Battlegrounds, it's techie that. Mother, father and sister Verstappen were all talents. 100%. Will they get within a 10th? I think a 10th might be a push. But there is a lot of time on those flexi wings, I'll tell you that much. That rear flexi wing, you saw it, right? We went through it. The front flexi wing, I just don't know. It's hard to say. Who will have got a jump as far as the design philosophy of the next set of flexi wings, both rear and front? Who's going to design the apex predator flexi wing in the round 9 rules and regs? I don't know. Lando's delusional. Eric, I think you might be onto something there. Is the code switch? There's a gazillion different things that you can pull out in that narrative pie as far as causation. There is a code switch. There is whistling Vivaldi in there, if you're going to use that euphemism. It's a layer cake. Hard to make conversation if person is not into racing. 100% coin, but is that coin or Colin? Coin Waters. I think, I mean, this is the point of the channel, right? This is the reason why I wanted to set it up, because I want to be able to talk with like-minded individuals about all things Formula One. Because for a while back there, in the early 90s, who spoke about F1? And by the way, speaking to that, there's 3 years between Max and Lando. Very Seb-like. Yeah, true. I also had those, says Crackersaurs. Oh, the humanity. 300 of you in here already. Yeah, do me a favour and smash the like. It's important, chat. Take a second and get up the inside. Put a wheel up the inside of the like button, please. It matters. Bilbo, hope you will. Championship leader Lando Norris. Quick look at number 4. 1 point down the road from Max Verstappen. 62 points versus 61. Oscar Piastri tailing. I think he's under pressure. The rear wings flexibility makes my mum's yoga stretches look stiff. The McLaren's one. I love what you've done there, Rematch. Did you guys also see Lando Norris? Somebody said in the chat that check out Lando Norris, and he looks like he's due a night's sleep. Do you know what I mean? Me too, of course. But I'm not an F1 driver, right? I'm 40 years old. I've got a bloody family and all sorts of accountabilities and responsibilities. Do you know what I mean? Lando, you'd expect to. I mean, he's just got to be a bit more serious about the opportunity that's affronting him. Browning nearly yeeted into. Luke Browning nearly yeeted it into his teammate Alex Albon. Oh wow. Alex Albon cracking jokes. Lando, no, he appears to be stressed, Mikhail. This is the problem. Has anyone seen this on F1 TV? She looks amazing. I can't see anything. She's a bit cheeky. Luke, I've also lived and breathed racing since early childhood. No other kids in school to talk to about racing ever. Luke, this is the point, right? I swear to you, this is what makes me happy, that we have ourselves a safe space within which we can talk about all things F1. Ask Noddy questions. You guys can fact check me on my Noddy F1 insights and bluster. My bull feathers can get Mr. Windsor on here to educate me and us. Can get James Allen on here, legendary F1 commentator. And oh my gosh, yeah, get James Allen on here. He can talk to us about all things F1. Do you know what I mean? Because I understand that there are a multitude of F1 minds, infinitely more intelligent and sound than mine, and I want to get them on here so that I can defer to their expertise. Do you know what I mean? Team radio sounds are bad for me on F1 TV. Sound of engine is so loud. Limiter not working. Maverick. Oscar is too quiet. I think Lando's focus on Max is going to work in Oscar's favour. Go on, and let's talk about Oscar very quickly. James Allen, Luke. The week before the Monaco Grand Prix, I need to message him actually after this. That'll be proper, just like the first time when I had Mr. Windsor on here. Starstruck settings. I mean, we'll have to be on our A game. Weetabix will have to be had the morning of T-minus 6 minutes till we get ourselves some cheeky FP3, some metrics provided to you, of course, as always, by the guys and girls over at Multiviewer, legends one and all. If you like yourself some metrics to watch along with your F1 to add some value, then go and download yourself Multiviewer app on a desktop or a laptop. Alongside an F1 TV access package, the cheapest one, 264 if you watch it concurrently, only 72 likes. Do me a favour very quickly, if you could, and put a wheel up the inside of that like button. Do it now, please. Right, let's have a go. What am I doing here? Martin Brundle said that McLaren has lost Bahrain already because they reacted to Max. I saw that, Safak. I've got the quote. I was meant to read it out yesterday. Okay, so speaking after his Japan win, Max Verstappen said, "You wouldn't have seen me if I was driving the McLaren." Well, almost, quite nearly. Sky Sports pundit called it a twofold ploy. On one level, he was trying to motivate Red Bull by underlining the performance deficit. On another, he was trying to rattle his McLaren rivals, suggesting they failed to reach their car's potential. Norris fired back during media day at the Bahrain Grand Prix, adamant that Verstappen would be disappointed if he had the chance to drive the MCL39. Risky strategy, because what says Martin Brundle, because what Max is saying there to 1,500 people back at base who've just given him a race-winning car is your car's not very good. That can motivate them. But both McLaren drivers, certainly Lando, said a bit the same thing about the car. Have a go in it, you'll be disappointed, Max. They shouldn't have bitten on that one. It was quite clever psychology from Max Verstappen. So no, I agree. I concur with Martin Brundle there. I think he's nailed it. Lando did it. I mean, if you've got all the this is the point I was trying to make very badly in the video yesterday, right? If you have all of the cards, if you hold all the aces, then surely it makes sense to disengage there, right? Why would you swim in shark-infested waters? Max is better at that than you, Lando. That's why Oscar just no-sold it, right? Oscar wouldn't even engage it. T-3 minutes until we get ourselves an FP1 session. Why would you engage it, Lando? Lando thinks he's better at, but if your banter is as good as you were on Chicken Shop, then don't even bother. Don't engage in that. Don't do it. Max is too steeled, too raw, too never fight with somebody who cares less than you, right? Lawrence Stroll with his paymasters. Luca de Montezemolo. Battlegrounds, let's go. You're a legend and far too kind as always. So I don't know. I don't think Lando should engage in that anymore. If he's going to go hard and 10 toes, that if he's got Conor McGregor level bants and charisma, if that's the level at which you're operating on the mic, then go hard. You know what I mean? Because there's advantage in there. I have these arguments and these theses all under the umbrella heading of Lando Norris winning his maiden voyage, right? Winning his first Drivers' Championship. If he's not interested in that, then do what random walk, mate, scattergun approach. But if your priority, first order priority, is to win yourself a championship, then you need to start acting accordingly, right? Albert, here I'm thinking it's the best streaming. It's a streaming room, Albert. I won't hear anything else. Do you know what I mean? It's a streaming room. One day I'll do behind the scenes. In fact, for the James Allen interview, I'm considering showing you guys a different area of the house, doing it on a, I don't know. Let me not talk. I need to have a think. I just about spilled my drink. It was such a difference. Did you see things? I should edit it out. Thank you for the support. Yeah, no, 100% too much. You guys are legends. Thank you all for the support. 355 of you watching concurrently. Do me a favour and smash a like. Your boy's getting back. I was coughing overnight. Could barely sleep for the cough. But apparently, come after hour, come after man. As far as my voice, Piastri's mum has a story. I know, she's always genius soon. The week of the Monaco Grand Prix, hopefully. Provisional poll. You got a big crush on Laura. Laura's got a great personality, I'd say. She has got a great personality. All right, let's go. Let's get some metrics. Remember, for the avoidance of doubt, that Bahrain is the sovereign wealth fund, the territory of the sovereign wealth fund that owns, the majority owns McLaren F1. If there is a close call that the FIA have to make in Bahrain, and there is a McLaren car, never leave it in the hands of the judges, as Dana White would say. Especially if your name as a team is anything apart from McLaren and you're driving anything not called an MCL 39. Do you know what I mean by that? You remember a couple of years ago, 2023, Fernando Alonso with an Aramco sponsored Aston Martin, allegedly Mohammed bin Sulayem at Saudi Arabian Grand Prix did his best to reinstitute Alonso back onto the podium, notwithstanding the fact that the Aston Martin had broken the rules. There is such a thing in F1 called politics. Prosecution rests no further questions, Your Honour. Do you know what I mean? If past his prologue, what's his name? Balestre, 1989. Do you know what I mean? You know the drill, chat. There are no news stories in F1. It's all the same. History doesn't repeat, but sometimes it does rhyme. Do you know what I mean? FP3's kicked off. T-minus 58 minutes left on the docket. Let's get some... Daniel, I do remember that. I do remember. Saudi Arabia 22, absolutely. Explosions going on in the background. Owing to it's not Yemeni rebels, is it? I can't remember the name. Houthi rebels kicking off explosions in the background whilst these guys were racing around the track. What are we doing here? I mean, nothing to see. As you were, F1 peddlers, just carry on racing. Emergency meeting where all the F1 drivers clearly didn't feel safe. And apparently, word on the F1 curb is, per the WWE before them, all the F1 drivers were advised, listen, you can go home if you want to. But how are you going to get, like, good luck going through that airport if you haven't raced? You've promised us a race. You know what I mean? You better get in the car, shut up and drive. Drive to Survive takes on, you know, there's a brilliant James Allen on the James Allen on off F1 podcast was saying on the Jack Doohan circumstance that as far as Netflix's Drive to Survive series is concerned, that if you have the conversation under the umbrella heading of Jack Doohan, that there's a reason why Netflix called their F1 series Drive to Survive. I thought it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Omanch, it's coming. You know what it is? As soon as I start talking, you heard me in the first 10 minutes, I was good, but with a bit of talking, it just doesn't help. You agree with Mr. Windsor? No. Much, I'm all over it. I think the missus have just bought all of the antibiotics and stuff, but again, it arrived sadly too late for this FP3 session, of which we've still got T-minus 55 minutes remaining. Lewis looked good. No, he did look good. I think so they've brought an upgrade of Ferrari. Jeannie, if you rewind back, we spoke extensively to Ferrari. There's a brilliant Sam Collins video out there where he talks about the evolution of that SF25 Ferrari car. Red car, yellow badges, black prancing horse atop. In it, he says that they need to bring a new floor. They've brought a new floor for this Grand Prix. But, I mean, you got to take time to embed, right? It takes time to embed. Umar, you wanted to hear me overnight, mate. It was not, it was horrible. One of the worst nights of sleep that I've ever gotten in my life. But I digress. Do you think so, operator? I don't believe in Ferrari anymore. What's this on my head? Every time I do one of these, I can see this bloody white thing on my head. Don't like. Anyway, whatever. We're not pressure. 253 if you're watching concurrently. 117 likes. Do me a favour and smash it. Smash the like button, please. Get at the inside. You need F1 driver blood. Those drivers can heal at 200 miles an hour. Maybe. Blade levels. Here he is. It's here, isn't it? Something on my head and I don't like it. Right. Ollie Behrman has the whip hand because Ollie Behrman is the only driver to have gone out and set a lap. 137.8. You're a joker, Julia. If I had time, if time were an infinite resource, I would happily indulge. Oh, yes. Maybe I need to get a WrestleMania stream going on. But it's going to happen. The problem with that is that, doesn't it? It's going to happen at like 4:30 in the morning for us Brits, and nobody wants that. Here we go. Here's a Lewis Hamilton. Let's go. I don't hate this. Lewis purple first sector. But again, what else would you expect? He's the third driver, second driver to be out on track after the two Haas spots. Don't hate it. Whose blood would you choose? Asking for a vampire? I don't know. Back. I don't know. Lewis Hamilton aborts the lap. What's he doing? I do hope we get a gangbuster race, you know. I do hope. But again, the word on the F1 curb is that you kind of need. We've been blessed thus far, but not because of the the leveling of the competitive landscape, but because of fortuitous circumstances, right? China was a bit of Australia was a gangbuster race, but if only because of, I mean, you saw when it got dry all of a sudden that McLaren had the whip hand, durable competitive advantage to the tune of 0.3, 0.4, so it only took them a couple of laps to gap Max Verstappen to the tune of 16 seconds, like this. It's got it accessible, right? So I don't know what that means, chat. Maybe one of these days we're going to get a really bad race. Steven Gerrard. Let's go Stevie G. Legend of Liverpool Football Club. On tap. Crofty's missed it because he doesn't watch football. I'm tired. There we go. I'm tired of these commentators, chat. I'm going to be honest with you. They don't tell me anything that I don't know already. Please subscribe. You're a legend. One of the best of YouTube. You're a legend, Jesus. Cam, your Insta be healed if Luce gets the button. Can you imagine? Punch in the air, Safak. Massively. Or if Max puts another God tier lap in like he did last Grand Prix. Do you know what I mean? if Max puts it on pole, they would be shouting and crying and screaming. It'd be a great season as FIA would be more, if FIA would be more strict. They fudged it up. Oh, with the flexi wings potentially. Who's the commentator? Crofty. But Crofty, you always he just takes too long. A lot of bouncing. Sent Esteban Ocon into turn 12. Still difficult to go flats through because of it. I'll tell you what, the issue that these guys are going to have to solve for is all under the umbrella heading of tyre deg and graining. A very different aspect is the Bahrain Grand Prix from our previous Grand Prix at the Suzuka International Circuit. Lewis Hamilton 44. Let's go. Did Schiff ever say something about original? Oh no. I don't hate Simon. F1 TV. Brundle Jr. I'm not a big fan of Brundle Jr. either. To be fair, Alex he's all right. I need to. Here's my issue, chap. F1 is too. So even in the way F1 is covered largely, I don't want to. I need it to be interesting, right? I watch too many other sports and engage in the likes of Stephen A for bloody North American sports or Ariel Helwani for UFC, like Luke Thomas. These dudes were god tier. They've got knowledge and engagement and are entertaining, and they just smash it. Do you know what I mean? They tick all boxes. And when it gets to Crofty now, I'm just like flipping not the dudes. But I don't know. Maybe I'm blessed to absorb some of the god tier ones in other formula, like in other sports even. And then I just get to F1 and it's like the compare and contrast is a negative one. The variance is adverse every single time, and I don't like it. The difference in quality for like Crofty covering the sport as a play-by-play guy, as versus, I don't know, a John Anik in the UFC. It's just levels, I don't know. It's not entertaining enough, is the truth. I've had enough. But he's committed. I'll tell him that. I'll give you that much. He's an absolute legend, but I just find him a bit boring, chat, if I'm honest. Entertain me. Robbie Williams. You know what I mean? I don't like it. But whatever. Cam, you invested too much in American sports. Europe and Asia can't do it like America. Well, isn't that the problem, genius? Aren't Liberty Media an American? I just think there's scope for there's room for. I tell you what. Sorry for my French. Come on, no worries, Peter. You're a legend. Peter Puck. That's me being noddy, Peter, not you. I'd say there's something else I'm going to say about the commentators. I think you're being too kind, extending too much grace by saying, America's just fight. No. Needs to be some good. There were good commentators in Europe. I mean, Alex Jakes is a legend, right? He's proof positive. Do I have Peter Windsor on speed dial? I have a number for Mr. Windsor. We need Peter Windsor, the legend. NBA is far better in coverage there. 1,000% genius, but why? Shouldn't be that way. I'm sorry. I mean, you go to the NBA guys and it's Shaq and Kenny and Ernie. It's like, fuck. You'd almost, I've heard, I don't watch basketball that much anymore, or have ever. It's never been my cup of tea necessarily. But I watched the NBA guys because the chemistry between Kenny and Shaq and Ernie and Charles is so good. They're entertaining. They are like they are another entry to basketball, right? People will watch basketball games because they want to see Shaq and Ernie and Kenny and Charles talk. No more simple or complicated than that. Nobody is tuning into F1 to hear any one of these commentators talk, other than maybe Brundle. Maybe Brundle is an outlier to the way that I've just characterised the way that F1 is covered. Love me some sneaker. Andre, you're a big sneaker. It's dry, super dry. Mostly nerds who are interesting are rare. 100% genius. But they just got to, I don't know, bring F1 into the modern. It's 2025. Drive to Survive has done half the work, right? To expound, to pick up the Drive to Survive slack and take F1 to the next step. You need people who are knowledgeable. Windsor, for Pete's sake. No pun intended. Perfect. Like he's engaging and knowledgeable in equal measure. He'd be although I don't think he'd take the job, if I'm honest. You're not interested. He wouldn't do it. Doesn't want to travel all around the world. Bring Danica back, Brett. I don't know. Maybe I put out a cheeky poll. The first one of the weekend. Because I'm keen. I think this is important, and I don't think we talk about it often enough. I wonder if James Allen will be drawn on it when I speak to him before the Monaco Grand Prix. You let me know the best commentator in F1. Oh, shoot. Ignore that poll. I've sent it out too early. Oh my gosh. Ryan, you're talking my language? Ryan, honestly, when I get to that point, you are talking my language, sir. Nonsense. Because we are like 10,000 years behind any normal, sensible sport. That's why. Oh, you're a legend, Michael. I appreciate you. 'Ryan, I have no idea, so you've made the salient point there. Why doesn't, says Ryan, F1 have debate panels like in American sports? Is it because it's not a physical sport? It's because they're numpties, Ryan, and they don't understand the opportunity. They'll get there in the end, but it'll be 10 years from now. Do you know what I mean? They will get there, but it'll be far too late. %38 of you like me think Brundle's the guy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. It's the point, no, chap. I just think we're behind everything. Where are the debate? Listen, I suppose there's a quote that I keep hearing. If you're not changing something, then you're choosing it. So maybe, Ryan, over here at Cameron CC, we need to deliver, be the change that we want to see from F1. Maybe we need to deliver those services. Maybe I need to get Nasher from Quickstop F1 on here more regularly, and me and him need to go back and forth on all things, I don't know, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari, to have an interesting mode of discourse and conversation. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe I need to get Tomo on here more often, the legend that is market leader in F1, and have an argument with him. have him pick me apart and call me out of my ball feathers, or Aldas or Josh Revel, because we've got these or Law VS or Tactical Rab. So all wins them more often, right? Me and Peter do that conversation and have a debate every Monday post-race weekend. Maybe we need to do that more often, because I'm sick and tired of hearing these bods come on and every single time it's consensus. It cannot be consensus every single time. That is boring. Boring. Who wants to see that? Not me. Have a conversation for Peter. But they're too prim and proper, aren't they? That's the problem. Far too prim and proper, and don't want to say anything to offend anyone, and it's, you know what I mean, and it's steaks, and I want to be able to go to the Red Bull party and the hospital, you know what I mean, go and get their lunch. Just jokers, man. I don't like it. But maybe that's why new media is going to steal the lunch of old media. Maybe that's what we're here for, chat. Maybe that's the modus operandi, even the raison d'etre of modern day media. Maybe that's what it is. We've just discovered it in real time. Good conversation. Well done, Ryan. Brilliant question, chap. Question of the day, that. 352 of you watching concurrently, do me a favour and smash the like. Max says, Jakes and Brundle together are amazing. F2. I rate Jakes. I've heard them on an F2. I don't know. I think Jakes needs like a... I tell you what would be God's here. Jakes and Rosberg. Because then you've got your yin and your yang, right? Alex Jakes is like probably the best play-by-play guy that we've got. Copy, 10-4, copacetic, put that in the bank. But then you need a colour commentator that's going to draw something out of Jakes, do you know what I mean? Not necessarily a bit of personality, but be an additional why to watch. And I think Rosberg will give you that. The occasional curveball, and do you know what I mean? I think Rosberg has that in his locker. So maybe Rosberg and Jakes is the, maybe that's the apex predator. Maybe that's what F1 needs. Should get the Discord to broadcast their takes there. And that, you know what, genius? I know. You're right. I agree. We need to start alternative media. Will be the change if F1. Ryan, it's going to I think it's happening already. Ryan, it's just, I love Hinch. Hinchcliffe is good. I do like a bit of James Hinchcliffe. I rate him. I neglected to mention it. Yeah, we'll it's happening. But I think it's happening on, you know, like Sisyphus even pushing the boulder up a hill. Initially, it's hard to see the progress. I think we're at that gestation phase where you gotta look at the progress with a squinted eye, but take a step back, and in longer form, over the course of the next 5-10 years, you will see it. I promise. Cam should be in the round table with Peter. Oh, can you imagine, Andre? Oh. That would be techie. Then techie things. Palmer and Jakes is like, I don't like Palmer. I think I heard Palmer said something the other day like, Toto, the boy who cried wolf. I said, hang on. That might be coincidence, but I don't know. You'll forgive me. Chat, for feeling like he's plagiarised one of my terms. It gives me the shivers. I'll be proud of that. Excuse me, chat. I'm being very... obtuse here. Red Bull isn't turning. Go on then, let's talk about some F1. 351 of you in the chat concurrently, do me a favour and smash the like. We are T-minus 38 minutes away from the end of FP3, the final free practice session of this round for the Bahrain Grand Prix at the Sakir International Circuit. Lando Norris, as per usual, this race weekend has the whip hand. 1:33.7, a full second and change down the road from Sir Lewis Hamilton on the same tyres. Oh, the humanity, chat. There's a difference in extent and not kinds as far as the dominance, the delta that McLaren in the hands of Lando Norris has in hand on the rest of the field. The other 18 or 19 even potentially, if Oscar Piastri doesn't add his Weetabix. Oscar, hot lap. See what you got, sir. Make this interesting for us, Oscar. Yeah, no, I mean, he's been cooking all the time, but he just makes mistakes, Sandra. Selvin says, how can you steal something and act like you deserve it is the real question. There is no honour amongst thieves. That's why, Salvin. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily expect him to cite Cameron CC. The space is incestuous. A lot of the stuff that I come on here and talk about is by dint of, I don't know, a James Allen podcast or a Peter Windsor video. Or, like, I should cite my bloody sources underneath. Max Verstappen goes purple, sector 1, 26.6. Huh. Piastri, but abandons the lap in sector 3. Makes a cheeky mistake. All eyes on Oscar Piastri through sector 2. Purple, 30.1. 40.2 as near as makes no difference on Oscar. Go on then, OJ. Let's see what you got, chap. Sector 3, can he make it P1? Top of your timing sheets, potentially. Go on then, Oscar. Go on, chap. Let's have a go. The pick to click as far as time, 133.7. Oh, the humanity. Wow. Oscar goes 133.3. Holy shoot. All the time gain in the sector 2. Wow. 133.3. 0.4 seconds up the road. Are they doing simulation runs or what? What's going on here? Salvin 2 right, so there's no honour in F1 either. Everybody's always stealing each other's ideas anyway. I'm not immune from that. Far for it to be me to be a hypocrite in here. They look quick, don't they, Louis? Giant lad in a Mercedes garage looks ready to wrestle a gearbox. Brilliant. Andre says Liberty is all about the money. They don't care at all. Why is Max Verstappen in the garage? Max not happy with the balance of the car again, as Carlos Sainz goes up to 8th on hard tyres. Leclerc up to 4th on a 34.5. Still 1.5 seconds adrift. Well, 1.2 adrift of Piastri for the lead. Bloody Nora. This is ominous, chat. No other driver is in the 133s. The lad Peter Windsor did a brilliant a piece of analysis looking at, like, not necessarily like the spread of hot times, of quick times within the 133s and McLaren's, which, oh my gosh, Crofty puts it. Oh my gosh. Windsor did a really good bit of analysis showing the spread of lap times, and it's almost like McLaren have it on tap. They've got this ability in that MCL39 with the fact that it mitigates for the rate at which its tyres deg, the speed, the downforce through medium and high speed. It just has this ability, like the time's just there on tap, right? The only problem for it here is that you've got some low minimum speed turns at the end of some long straights, around which the MCL39 isn't necessarily in its natural habitat, but the rest of the track, gonzo, it's going to be an issue. Crofty makes the pertinent point that as far as the pace of that RB21, if Max Verstappen can pole and do a lights to flag victory around there, then that's a paradigm shift, right? That's different. That's levels. And then you've got to have a conversation about the speed of the RB21 as versus the MCL39. As difficult to drive as it is, as mercurial as its handling dynamic, and as difficult as the RB21 is to set up, if Max can do what he did at the Japanese Grand Prix Suzuka, again around here, because of the different handling dynamic, the different challenges, the bloody long straights, and, like, do you know what I mean? It's going to get techie, that's what I'm telling you. Serve source, what's going on? Easy, because everything checks out. What serve was a... Windsor is a Piastri hater. Every time I say, I've heard a lot of people say that, and every time I try and pull at Peter's, like, his soliloquy and his thesis in real time, like, he runs ring around me. Remember, Kamal Palmer plagiarised my lines as well. Umanch is cheeky. Excuse me. Cameron Jr. telling me, Daddy, is Max Verstappen? Well, no, he's not. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He definitely didn't say that. Excuse me, chat. I'm being coarse and very agricultural. No, sorry. No. Alfonso, you're a legend. Thank you for alerting me, but I had to mute for a second. Osama bin Russell. Am I glitchy on your screen, chat? I'm running too many different things here. I'll sort that out before qualifying. I'm a proper... I'm like a hoarder as far as Google Chrome tabs. I just don't want to delete them. Cameron G, there's a point. Chibi, did it say that? I'm being stupid. Fernando, so you runners and riders. For those of you whom I'm being eyes and ears, T-minus 31 minutes and 3 seconds left on the docket. Oscar Piastri has the whip hand, tops the timing sheets with a 33.3. Lando knows shortly thereafter. 4 tenths later on a 33.79.8 as near as makes no difference. Shortly thereafter, Alonso, Leclerc, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Doohan, Hajar, Hamilton, for fud's sake. Look at this. You see this, chat? What's the delta between Leclerc and Hamilton? 3 tenths. Always 3 tenths. You don't even need to look now. You just know. Lawson, Tsunoda, San, Antonelli, Stroll, Sainz, Albon, Ocon, Behrman, Bortoletto, Max Verstappen and George Russell. Max Verstappen and King George not having set a lap time just yet. They're just trying to sort out the setup on Max's car, aren't they? The Resta wasn't bad, was it? I like the Resta. I do like the Resta. No, I do like. I used to like the Resta. I remember Paul Ricard a couple of years back when Shaw was being dominant, and he'd done all the hard work, and then he yeeted it into the barrier, and Paul the Resta was calling it all the way. That's the level of insight that I need from my commentators. Tell me what's going to happen before it does right. Proper stuff. 4 to 9 tenths is crazy. Also for me, Max has no chance. If it improves on the weekend. Hulkenberg, sidelined. T-minus 29 minutes remaining. Yellow flag circumstance. 485 of you in the chat can currently do me a favour and smash the like. Por favor. Every little bit helps. Is my mic cutting off really? No, JP. Go on then, let's do this. JP, I think you might need to just reset your... just come out of your YouTube. Let me know, chat. If my mic's cutting out, drop me a 1. If my mic is fine to you and the audio's crispy, then drop me a 2, just to double check. Yeah, you're a legend, RJ. If audio's bad, drop me a 1. If not, drop me a 2. The mic is cutting off. Shoot. Okay, okay. Legend. Thank you, guys. Yeah, maybe switch back. Easy G. Yeah, have a reset. You're a legend. Thank you guys for letting me know. It's tricky, you know. MV4. Maybe just pop out MV4 and come back in on Chrome or something. Bosh, you guys are legends. Thank you. I've had a cheeky update of my software. Mic check. You're a legend, Selvin. Mic check 1, 2. Though you might be able to hear my little man in the background. 505 of you watching could currently do me a favour and smahoosh the like. Team Principal Jonathan Wheatley, Mr. Eidetic Memory, Photographic Memory. The dude is going to look through the rule book and tell the FIA what to do. Legend. Chiba, reset the P's. Just joined that it cut out, Cameron. Oh no. Philly B. Shoot. Oh, you had to reset. Hugo says it's cutting out as well. Fudge. Okay. We'll assume it's all right for now. I'll have a listen back to it. And Mike is fine. Max, you're a legend. 453 of you in the chat. Do me a favour and smash a like. Virtual safety cars ending. We are T-minus 27 minutes away from the end of FP3. Your takeaways? Well, there is only one topic on the docket, McLaren are fast as fudge down the road from the rest. Look at that. The closest person is Fernando Alonso, and he's barely within a second of your race lead, or session lead even, in Lando Norris. Holy smoke. Do not like this, chap. Dominant settings. Come on, Max. Get out there, chap. Max Verstappen coming out soon, apparently. Your boy is a Hulk fan. Can you hear him in the background? Let's go purple sector. I'll have a word with the YouTubes about that, because audio is very important, so they say. You know what I mean? I've sacked off many a podcast for bad audio. Just can't even deal with it. Yeah, sorry, Max. I'm just arguing with my little man here, trying to tell him to relax himself. That's all right. Max will be pole at the end of the day. He needs to stop crying. I mean... Right, 477 of you watching concurrently. We've got 200 likes. Do me a favour, let's get that number up, please. T-minus 24 minutes left on the docket, and we have Max Verstappen on a quick lap here. Green sector 2 from the 4 soon-to-be 5-time champion. Let's have a go. Let's have a go. All eyes on Max to see how close he can get, It's sector 1 that's going to hurt him, though. That sector 1's not great. 28 point... Oh! How close? 0.2. Houston, we have a problem. Let's go. I don't hate that. Max goes second on a 133.5. Let's go. We have ourselves a race, potentially. Competition and friction and stakes. Bear with me 1 second. I need to blow my nose. I don't hate that. I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds. I'll come back, I promise. Apologies. Cheeky understeer, Max. Always going to be understeer. That's the RB21 for you, And again, you're going to have a couple low speed turns at the Bahrain Grand Prix where you're gonna get tested as if you've got understeer. And again, as a percentage of the whole, as a proportion of your total lap time, word on the F1 curb is that you lose the most at low minimum speed turns, Rascas, let's say. Turn 1 at the Italian Grand Prix Monza. You will lose understeer. That's why they're trying to bloody do the Jekyll and Hyde thing with these front wing and flexi rear wing with a view to sort them out, right? Because you will lose too much speed at the low minimum speed turns as a percentage of the whole. There is most of your lap time in being able to complete those times today. Top 3 in qualifying. Go on then. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at the odds. Lando Norris is currently... he's odds on, isn't he, again? Max Verstappen is 7-1. Holy smoke. So it's got to be between, if they don't make mistakes, it's got to be between Lando and Oscar, right? If Max can be God tier again, then who backs against Max Verstappen, chat? Them's the rules. Imagine the scenes on Drive to Survive next year after Oscar beats Lando for the championship and Lando has a complete hissy fit and changes teams. Oh, the humanity. Don't sulk, you're a legend. That's chaos though. I know that's not the fastest win. Go on then. Let me get some oh, come on. I'm just calcing some odds, chat. Fermat's last theorem settings. So, check this out. 44% of the time, out of 100. That's how many times Lando puts it on pole, say the odds checkers. 42% of the time, Oscar. 13% of the time, Maximilian Verstappen. That sounds wrong already as I'm saying it. It just sounds bogus. Turn 4, track infringement from Max. Cheeky track infringement from Max. For that, to be 2/10 off. Charles Leclerc only has one mirror. Interesting. We've got new members and I've missed you. Oh, listen, guys, all of you guys who are members, moderators extraordinaire, let me say thanks again. It means a lot, properly. Excuse me. And if you want to become a member, then that will get you access to some sexy emojis, access to the Discord, and priority in the chat each and every single time, in addition to a cheeky newsletter once a week. If Max gets, JTAL, you're a legend and far too kind. If Max gets this RB into the top 3, then I can't ignore the fact that the car's got a tiny window, but is actually quite fast. If not, it's the second best car when in the right. I don't disagree, JTAL. But again, JTAL, I just think too kind as always, by the way. It's a really good point. It's a salient one that we'll be discussing, I think, even beyond the Bahrain Grand Prix. However, I think you've got a caveat that it's the second best car, maybe only in Max Verstappen's hands. I don't think there's another driver on the grid of the other 19, maybe Lewis if he's had his Weetabix, that could do with that car what Max Verstappen is doing with it, or at least what he did with it at the Japanese Grand Prix. Lando couldn't do that. I think they'd struggle. I think they really would struggle. Easy G says this session won't be comparable to qualifying, so don't take this session seriously. And what Easy G is speaking to specifically is the climatic circumstance. It will be cooler. So I'd imagine, therefore, that the rate at which the tyres are degging will be less expeditious. At least George blocking Lawson. or Lawson blocking George. I felt like Lawson was just having a cheeky mode. They're doing things at Ferrari, aren't they? And again, I'd advise that you guys, if you want a cheeky deep dive, Liam complaining about George Safa. If you want a cheeky deep dive on the Ferrari circumstance, the Sam Collins video is, again, not the most entertaining, but it's very, it's information dense. I would advise it. Do me a favour and smash like 500 of you here in the chat. Fair point mood. Maybe not good, but fast. My bad. Oh, that's my bad. That's muted. But is it really a good car if the window's so tiny, fast, but to that point mood? And again, you make a salient one. Bloody Nora, you guys are going in hard in the paint as far as the salient points today. Adrian, who has always said he'd rather have a car that's easier to set up right. You don't want a performance curve that's infinitely high but infinitely thin. Accessible. You've got to make the pace accessible, particularly in the hands of, I don't know, a Max Verstappen or a Sir Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, they can both adapt to the cars, but you get an extra tenth if they can push, right? If they're comfortable and confident, especially in Sir Lewis. Lewis is a comfortable, confident Sir Lewis as far as his relationship and his the way in which he interacts with the car will gain you a tenth or two at least. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, you've got to... It's one of those weird scattergram like graphs. You've got to tick, depending on the driver and the circumstance, you've got to... It's like when you're making a player on FIFA and you've only got like 50 points to attribute, but you've got like 6 different categories. Like, you've got to be careful. And I think one of the most important, as we see a cheeky oversteer from George Russell, I think we need to start putting some respect on George Russell's name here, by the way, as well. I will say that. Like, definitely. George Russell's not been bad at all. Carving out a driver's campaign in the image of one Alain Prost, leopard off a sword. Do you know what I mean? Oh. George Russell, turn 10, full slide all the way round. Yuki Tsunoda settings, Red Bull showrun, Japan a couple of weeks ago. 5 to 2 of you watching concurrently. Why did it? Wow, the least amount of grip I've ever had, says King George. Bloody Nora. 40% of you, by the way, think Brundle's the apex predator, and I don't disagree with that. Martin Brundle is a different level, like a god tier one. But again, it's the combination, the symbiosis of knowledge and being engaging. Who else can do that on the current internationally syndicated broadcast? If there is somebody, then I know not of them. It's your Windsors, right? That's who I'm talking about there. There's no one out there that can do that. That level of engagement and, I don't know, charisma with that level of knowledge. No one has that, chat, and that's the point that I'm making. I need that from my guys. Put Alex Jakes in there alongside Martin Brundle, I would contend. That's my principal thesis, and that's what I'm sticking to. George is a boss. You jinxed it, Cameron. I know. Commentators curse. I can see me bloody... We'll sort that out between sessions, I promise. I apologise for being a little bit blurry here, but Alonso is coming. Cam CC can do... I don't know. James Allen, flipping Laura. Bring back James Allen. Speaking of which, we'll talk about this. We'll do the questionnaire later. Sam lost my respect with his Max view. Refused to watch him. I know, but nobody bats 1,000. That turned out to be a particularly bad take with the benefit of hindsight, but everybody can be a god tier Monday morning quarterback, eh? Everyone. George just flows underneath the radar because of his demeanour. He's picking up points. I don't hate what he's doing out there at the moment. He's definitely picking up points. And what else do you need to do if you want to win yourself a championship? He's a winner. I almost feel you want Lando's pace with George's mentality, or Lando's pace with Oscar's mentality. Can't have everything, eh? Am I really low down in this chair? A up, Alex Zalban. Purple. Let's get eyes on this Alex Albon lap. Goes through sector 1 purple, 29.5. Sector 2 green, 40.7. Does he have a shot at this? I don't think so. 29. 2 tenths adrift of Alonso's time, and Alonso is 4th. That sector 2 time is too slow. This is a tough track, isn't it? Up into 4th, Alex Albon with a 33.9 as near as makes no difference. I mean, he's a whole 0.6 tenths adrift of the race lead or session. Here we are. Here's a Max Verstappen, 0.2 up in sector 1. Struggling to get it turned in, isn't he? He's struggling with understeer, Max. I think they need to sort out the setup, as Red Bull have a habit of doing if past his prologue. All eyes on Max Verstappen, sector 2. Let's see how fast or how slowly he goes. Can he purple? Purple! Max Verstappen 40.1. Yeah, that car's not too bad, is it, anyway? Not in the hands of Max. So he's plus 0.2 up on Oscar's time. He's on it, isn't he, Max? I love seeing Max Verstappen. To put me on board. Anytime Max Verstappen is on it, just give me the onboard footage. Oh, wow. Oscar Piastri, 4 tenths up in sector 1 alone. Max Verstappen goes top. 3 tenths quicker than OJ Piastri. And again, we shouldn't invest necessarily too much stock in these free practice times. However, we do have 10 minutes on the docket, so it feels like it's witching hour as far as hot laps. Gasly goes top, 32.9. What the hell? A whole tenth quicker than Max Verstappen. Okay, so Max has still got some work to do as far as setup on that car. Oscar Piastri, that's at 39. Oh my gosh, look at that. OJ Piastri is a second up cumulatively. Half a second up in sector 1, half a second up in sector 2 from Oscar Piastri. It's witching hour. Oscar Piastri might go, so Gasly's time 32.9. Oscar Piastri might be about to do 31 something if he can get himself in a decent sector 3 here. Oh my gosh, 31.6. 1.5 seconds down the road. Hang on, chat. I don't know what to say. I'm listening to Crofty just like, 1.5 seconds. It's like, am I missing something, chat? 1.5 seconds down the road. That's something, right? That matters. Interesting. 1.5 seconds down the road, chat. What are we doing here? Am I reading that wrong or something? Or 1.3? Fudge cake. T-minus 9 minutes left on the docket. And Oscar's just set cheese. 2024 pole was 29. Absolutely ridiculous. Karen makes the point about Aja. I'm trying to process that Oscar. Soon. 2 seconds adrift. I don't think they will become qualified. What is going on there? Ocon up into 6th on a 33.2. Lando, cheeky oversteer moment, abandoned his time. You see this, build yourself a weekend, Lando. Cut out the mistakes at a time chat before the paid sessions. Already the mistakes have crept in. GP2 engine. Quali sims, 100%, always within the last 10 minutes. Wow. I mean, statement lap from OJ. Holy smoke. What do we say about that, chat? 1.5 second down the road from everyone. Ominous and portending to dominance. Look at that, George on the money here in a second down. Oh my gosh. Are McLaren really that guy? Are they really, is that how much time they've really got in hand? 1.4. Fudge cake. Colour me blind. I do not know what to say. The F1 gods giveth and they taketh away. This looks like dominance, doesn't it? Dominance, if ever I've seen it, chat. But yeah, and still, we've got T minus 7 minutes left on the docket. I'm keen. It does feel like there's McLaren in the rest, right? 600 of you watching Conconi, do me a favour and smash a like. We'll be live, of course, 30 minutes before qualifying. It's going to get techie, chat. I'm a bit nervous. I cannot lie. Max 10 years in F1, Lando 6 years. Isn't this Lando's 7th year, Jata? So you're still right. I'm pettifogging you. I can't believe how fast these McLarens are at the moment, says Gasly. I mean, are those flexi wings up? Does not add up. Oscar's something up. Is it? It looks. I'm not sure if it passes the smell test, Safa. That is chaos. I need to see the rear facing footage of the wings. Party mode, maybe. That is bonkers. Not dominance. They're still in decline about their car. George Puss then still 1.1. I know, Luke. I saw George going for it and he's nowhere near. Not even within a second. And then McLaren keep talking all this stuff. Oh, we're not that dominant. No, don't pay too much attention to the times. Lando, even Lando 7/10 adrift. Wow. Is Oscar just on one? I'm saying Oscar. Wow. Karen Chandit saying Oscar has the upper hand. Wow, Zuz. I don't know what to say here, chat. I don't like it though. That's all that I will say. Here we go. 0.8. That's something. 0.8 adrift is Charles Leclerc, meaning therefore Lucy's going to be about 1 point something. 1.4 adrift. Bloody Dora. What's the point here? Piastri looks ridiculous. I mean, they told us, Zach Brown has been saying that Oscar's always braver through the quick stuff. Oof. Look at that. Oscar 0.2 up, 0.2 up, 0.2 up. Reset to 1, 2, and 3. Lando has a problem. A big bloody problem, leak. Maybe one as far as the car's concerned. Just copy his setup, surely. It's a good lap to science. So go on then, science. Carlos says correction, mate. It wasn't a good lap, it was a poor lap. But I digress. Go on then, these runners and riders. Hold my beer. I need to see the onboard of that. Verstappen is washed, says Evac. We said that this time last weekend, didn't we? And then look, call me delusional. And they called me a delusional Piastri fan. He's not bad. I mean, he's got a lot of it. He's not wanting for potential. He's not wanting for potential. Warren, you're a legend. I appreciate you. And I appreciate, Warren, the back and forth every time, mate. I wait for your comments and you're checking me in my ball. Listen, this channel doesn't exist but for you guys and your industry and chiming in and telling me your opinions and underscoring my ball feathers from time to time because nobody bats 1,000. And F1 modes and discourse has to be it going forward. For too long, in my humble opinion, F1's been all about consensus. No, it's a conversation. Some people like Lewis, some people hate Lewis, some people like Max, some people hate him. Some people think that Max is the next one superseding Lewis. Some people think that Lewis has got the stats and the record, the history to where he'll never ever be. And let's have these conversations. No. Well, why does it always need to be, I hate you and you hate me and you need to go over there? And no, it doesn't need to be like that. We're all here and this needs to be a safe place, a community that you guys are building, using which we can have these convos. If McLaren wins the drivers, it'll be Oscar. Oh, John McLaren. You got so unlucky in Melbourne. Otherwise, he'd be leading the drivers. Was it just bad luck though, John? T minus 2 minutes on the docket. Was it just bad luck? Or did he make a mistake at critical times? Or is it a blend of the two aforementioned? A bad mistake by dint of bad luck or fortuitous circumstances, lack thereof? No, you're a legend, one. I appreciate you. What I like about the majority of the community is less toxic. It's got Jata. It has to be. I mean, we can't all think the same. Hans, you're a legend. Best space in my F1 opinion. Gotta have the conversation. Gotta have it. The best ones that I see doing it, not in F1, because again, F1's all buttoned up and nice and prim and proper. After you, Claude, and there's never any disagree. You know what I mean? But when I watch the NBA guys, Chuck will call out Kenny and Shaq on their ball. That's what it's got to be, right? In a way that's respectful. Banter, yeah, of course. Or CBS, Micah and Kate Abdo, formerly known as. Much. Guys, it's one of you watching. Do me a favour and smash a like as we round third base. T minus 2 minutes left on the docket. Bloody Nora. That's very foreboding, that, from Oscar. I mean, the way he just went out there, like, no questions asked, 0 fudges given, and just nailed that lap. That's foreboding, that is. I'll say that much. That doesn't bode well at all if you're invested in a levelling of the competitive landscape. I'll say this to all those that predicted Lando. I thought Lando would be the better of McLaren drivers. But there was some, I remember on the back of the final Grand Prix last year, all of those Sky F1 Donnies predicted that Lando would win the championship this year. I remember Will Buxton did something similar in the dying embers of the 2024 season. And look how that worked out. I feel like there is a Lando Norris bias, that just because he's got the quickest car, people fail to see the travails that his path to the championship is beset on both sides by Max Verstappen and a fire-breathing dragon in Oscar Piastri. It's not that easy, chat. It's just not that easy. And bloody mistakes of the unforced variety. And him failing to bloody consolidate for P1 as near as makes the difference every single time. Losing more positions in 2024 on lap 1 than any of the other 19 on the grid. That has to count for something. And if he doesn't fix for those, yeah, people say that I'm hating and get off Lando's back. He's only young. He's been in F1 7 years now. This is his 7th year. Plus change, do you know what I mean? The more things change, the more things stay the same. Checkered flag circumstances, chat. So the track's super hot and super slow then. 700 of you in the chat. It's going to be techie quali, I'm telling you. And I can't wait for it. I'm here for this qualifying session. I don't know whether Mr. Verstappen's going to be able to turn this one round, I'll be honest with you. I don't know whether he can do it. It's a lot. It seems like the deficit, as we always expected, right? The deficit at Bahrain, the Sakir international circuit, is much higher than it was at the Japanese Grand Prix. Japanese Grand Prix, Suzuka's a driver's track, right? If you're God tier, Lando makes an error and Oscar makes an error in sector 1, then you can overturn that not insubstantial deficit. But around here, your scope is limited, right? There's only so much that Max Verstappen can do to gap Oscar or to close the gap to Oscar and Lando, and that's where it's going to get tacky. RBR 6 fastest cars, says Kloksky. Right, chat. Oh my God. We'll be back shortly. 30 minutes before qualifying. By which time, hopefully, boy will have solved for his cough. Because I need to sort it out. Yuki's struggling. Oh no. Go on and let's do a quick runners and riders before we close out. Piastri 131.6. Lando Norris on a 32.3. Leclerc behind him 32.4. Bloody Nora, that Oscar lap is concerning, chat. He's in a different. The tens are different, or the single digits are different. Even for the only dude to get into the ones, 31.6. 32.3 from Lando, 32.4 from Charles. In fourth quickest on a timing sheet in FP3. Round 4, Bahrain Grand Prix. Russell, Antonelli, Gasly, Hadjar, Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Sir Lewis. Oh, the humanity chat. I don't know what to say to that. The upshot, the takeaway from this is that McLaren have the whip hand. They have the fastest car, and Oscar Piastri looks mighty quick. Purple sector's quick. Provisional pole quick, potentially. I will see you guys 30 minutes before qualifying proper. Then we'll get some answers for these very pertinent F1 exam questions. What are we doing here?